Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining the session. My name is Yanti Setiawan, and I'm part of the external relation team at Wittenborg. And today we'll have a webinar session about starting a business in the Netherlands. And with me, I invite Bishal Bandari. He's one of our current students, and he has his own business. And we also invite Anesca Smith. She's one of our alumni. And she's at the moment also has her own business. So I'll start with the short presentation, just some basic information about how to start a business in the Netherlands. And later on, after the presentation, I'll also invite Bishal and Anesca to share their experience. So if you all has any question about her experience or any other question about starting a business in the Netherlands, feel free to put your question in the chat box. Then we'll discuss the question in the end of the session. Yeah. And before I start with the presentation, can one of you just chat in the chat box if you can hear and see me clearly? Yes, thank you, Sapnam, for the confirmation. Also, Sam. So I'll just start short. I'll just start with the presentation now. Well, I do prepare some small quiz. If you maybe can answer it. This is also a surprise for me when I do a more research about starting a business in the Netherlands. So the first question is, do you need to have a client before you register your business? You can just answer in the chat box. Good answer, Sam. That's no. A question from Jafat. The session is recorded, so later on you can also watch it in our YouTube channel. The second question, do I need to have an employee for my business? Again, Sapnap, thank you for the answer. Good. No. And do you also need to have a certificate to start your business? Okay, I see some people saying no and don't know. Okay, it's all depends on your what kind of business. Because if, for example, you have a business related to culinary or food, of course you need to have the HACCP certificate. But for other businesses, you might not need certificate. So it's all depends on what kind of business that you want to have in the Netherlands. And then the last question: Do I need to have an office building for my business address when I register for my business? Okay, I see Samnap is answering yes and Sam is answering no. Well, you don't really have to have an office building. So if it is one person company, for example, you can also use your home address to register, but you need to make sure that you have the right for it. Because for some business, if you make too much noise or if it's related to your neighbor's safety as well, it is possible, but it really depends on the type of the business, and you also need to check with your local city hall for the permission. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll move on to the next presentation. So where to start first? The first thing is you really need to realize who are you? What's your qualification? What's your passion? What's your skill? What's your motivation? Why do you want to have a business? Do you think you are ready for the business? Um, do you have enough experience for the business? And then if all of this answer from the first part is yes, then you move on to the next one. Is there any demand for your business? Do you have any customer? Do you have any market in the Netherlands? So it's very important first to know who you are, if you're able to run the business yourself, or do you need a partner, or do you need to follow any additional certification or courses to run your business. And then the second one is, of course, to know if there is a market for your business. So your business might be unique, but if it doesn't it's sorry, if it doesn't match with the current Dutch market, so no one will buy your product and there is no use to run the business. So of course, first check yourself and then also check the market. And for the market, it's also important to check your competitor. So, do you have a competitor with the same product? So, what makes you unique? What makes you, uh, um, what's your advantage compared to your competitor? So, that's also part that you need to take into consideration when you're planning your business as well for your business plan. Yeah. And then the next one is, of course, the finance. What kind of capital? How much capital do you need for your business? So it really depends on your business. Do you need a building? Do you need a machinery, for example? Do you need any equipment, or do you need an employee? Then that at least you have a capital for the next year or 2 years or a few months. That really depends on the business. So then you make sure, because for all business, we all know that you need time for promoting, you need time to get a market, you need time to get a customer. So for sure that for the first few months you will spend more money than earning. So that's why the financial planning is also important before you start your business. That's all. This should also be included in your business plan. Yeah. The next one. It sounds very unique, but for the Netherlands, it is very important part before you can register your business. So you do need to check if your business name is unique, if there is someone else already using the domain. Because if someone else already using the name or the domain, you are not able to register your business under the same name. Yeah, so if you go to the KVK website, the Chamber of Commerce of the Netherlands, then there is a link that you can go. You can also check if the name is already used or not. Yeah. So if I make just a small conclusion before you start your business, so first is always the idea, and then based on the idea, you evaluate yourself if you have enough qualification, you have enough experience, you are ready to run the business. And then the second one, of course, you do market research and also competitor. So you do SWOT analysis, you check if the current situation is really promising for my business. And the third one is, of course, the financial planning. If you have enough sources to start, do you have enough sources for the equipment and other stuffs that you need to run your business? And then the last one is then to check your business in the domain. The next presentation is about the legal form of business in the Netherlands. So there is three different format. Mostly, as far as I know, our alumni and students, they do sell a product. Either they do sell product or they do services. So they give a consultation services, and it's mostly a one man business. Yeah, so that's the first part, that you are the only owner of the business. All the capital goes to you, and also all the liability goes to you. And then the second form is the general partnership. It's for example, you run a business together with your friends, so the liability and capital goes with the two of you. It doesn't have to be like 50-50, but there is a formal agreement about the liability and also the capital for your business. And then of course the next one is the normal BV, the private limited company. There have to be a member, not a personally liable, but it's like a really a company, an organization, a formal organization. Yeah, so these three different legal form, and I think most of our students and alumni, they either go for the one man business. That's I think the most popular one, and then the next is the general partnership. And once the company grow bigger and bigger, then you, for example, have an investor for your business, then you move to the BV, the private limited company type. Yeah. And then once you pass all the steps, you decided, okay, this is the type of the business that I want. Then the first thing you need to do is to register your business in the Chamber of Commerce. The step is relatively easy. Well, not easy, but it's simple as long as you have your business plan. This is the documents and the information you need. You need to make an appointment in the Chamber of Commerce. You will have a short talk with the staff there, about 30 to 45 minutes. They're going to ask you what kind of business, what's your plan, and then they will also give you an advice. um and this part, I want to ask maybe Bishal if he can share his experience, because Bishal, you're an international student, you don't speak Dutch. How did you go about it? Because I think most of the information are in Dutch. We do have information in English, but it might be less complete than the one in Dutch. Do you have any difficulty when you have the consultation with the Chamber of Commerce staff?
I would like to add one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Before making the appointment with the Chamber of Commerce, you need to register in the digit.
Mm-hmm. DGID, yeah.
Yeah. So after doing that, you can get an appointment to the KVK,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not that difficult. They have the English procedure as well. So if you go there, they will just assist you in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even need to think anything. As long as you have your own idea about your business,
Mm-hmm.
you can just go there and explain them
Mm-hmm.
each step. They will help you, or
Mm-hmm.
it's very simple. You can do it by your own as well.
Yeah. Oh, just one thing that I forgot to mention as well. So if you're a student, a current student in the Netherlands, you can open a business. You can run your business with your student's visa. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. There is no hours restriction as well. But
Yeah,
once
if
you
you do that,
graduated, your student's visa is not valid. Then you might need to apply for the startup visa. Yeah, so as long
Yeah.
as you are with the current with the student's visa, you can run your business at the same time with the same visa. There is no hour restriction.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
I
good
would
part.
also, can I
Mm-hmm.
also just add something to that? And
Mm-hmm.
that is when you register yourself with the Chamber of Commerce,
Mm-hmm.
then they automatically also register you with a tax service in the
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands, so you don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, after you have registered and registered with the tax people, then of
Mm-hmm.
course you can also open a business bank account. So
Mm-hmm.
you can go to these big commercial banks, but
Mm-hmm.
they also have special banks that cater specifically for startups in the
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands. So
Mm-hmm.
it will be that where the bank fees are quite low. So it will be worthwhile to compare different banks to suit
Mm-hmm.
your needs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Anesca and Bishal. So the process is quite simple. So as soon as you have an idea, then you can register your business. But of course, you really have to be sure about your idea. It's not just okay, I have an idea and then you go register. No, you have to be sure as well. And even if you don't speak Dutch, like Bishal mentioned, don't worry because the staff can speak English and also a lot of paperwork are available in English. And Bishal, how do you deal with your tax? Because the Netherlands is very popular about the tax complication, I think, at the moment. So how do you deal with your tax with your tax for your business?
For first 2 quarter, I did it with the accountant,
Mm-hmm.
and then I tried it myself, and I contact some of the people that I know who has been running their business,
Mm-hmm.
the one man business, and
Mm-hmm.
they helped me as well. And it's really simple.
Mm-hmm.
So first I was paying the accountant to do that, and later on I contact someone who was doing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So and now I did it by myself.
Okay, so the first thing, because you don't know yet about the tax system, you pay accountant to do it, but then you learn yourself, and then in the end, you can do it yourself. And how about you, Aneska? How did you do your tax in the beginning?
so I was really scared at the beginning because even that word tax service makes a person so scared. But so my husband helped me in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and because he is Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
But as Bishal said, it is quite easy. I would also I want to. So I did sort of like the first 2 years by myself, and it was easy. But I also know as a sort of a one man's business or sole proprietorship that you get a lot of discounts from the tax
Mm-hmm.
services. So maybe it was also worth looking into an accountant like Bishal did in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
because they can tell you all about those discounts that you get as a startup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's always good in the beginning to have a consultant first. You know that you learn about the system first, and then you know what's the possibility that you can get, like the benefits for startup, or if there, because
exactly.
I know the government has a scheme as well. So if you earn less than 20,000 euro a year, you might be exempted to pay the tax, but then but you cannot take tax from your customer as well. So there is a lot of different benefit as well. That really depends on your business, and also depends on what you earn per year. So I think in the beginning, at least the first 6 months, 1 year, it's always advisable to also work with a consultant to get your tax system ready for running your business further. And well, this is the picture. So Bishal, he has a photography business in the Netherlands. Bishal, can you maybe tell a little bit more about your business and how do you run it?
Normally I do the video works, and
Mm-hmm.
not only the photos, I also do the designing work now.
Mm-hmm.
And I am thinking about the printing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But currently I am studying the market,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just trying to integrate that thing one
Mm-hmm.
after another.
Mm-hmm.
So side by side I have to study as well, so everything is not possible right now. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever I can do, I do it in my free time. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to integrate one at a time and make it bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I can understand that you have a long plan, but for now, your core product is doing the photography or also the video editing. And how do you find your clients? Because as far as I know that you're international students, you come here, you have no connection to begin with. So how do you start your business from the beginning?
I always thought in a different way before that. I used to think that customers are somebody else and this kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
now I notice that it's all about the link.
Mm-hmm.
I get the clients from my friends. They
Mm-hmm.
know someone who needs this kind of services. They
Mm-hmm.
recommend these people to me, and then from there. So I have learned the thing that the customers are just near you. You just need to see.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the link for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the main way to find the customer for me at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Well, that's very clear. I mean, I just want to emphasize this as well for international students. Even if you don't have family, don't worry because I mean, your students, that's your first network. And then once you have a guest lecture, you're joining any conferences that you also build up your network during your study. I know in the beginning it might be difficult, but like Bishal said, it's so unexpected. Might be not really your close friend who is needing your product, but maybe the friends of your friend that is needing your product. So don't worry about it, but still, you have to always develop your network throughout the year.
Can I give one example?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like a friend whom I always met in the school, he also started one company, and
Mm-hmm.
he needed to design the logo and this kind of things. So
Mm-hmm.
he was asking about these things, and he didn't know that I do that thing,
Mm-hmm.
and he became my client. So it was like,
See?
yeah,
So it's so unexpected. And I know, Bishal, you also have help Wittenborg marketing team for the video editing. It was
yeah,
just we never know that you have the qualification. To be honest, we just posted in the student forum asking if any students can help, and in the end, see, we found out that you have the qualification. And I know, like all the staff know your qualification now. So if anyone need any like photography product, then for sure we will refer you to that person as well.
yeah.
So that's how it goes, the how your network grow bigger as well. And just a tricky question. So if you have the chance to go back time, like before you start your business, is there anything you want to do differently and anything you will do the same?
Mm, I thought about this question, but I couldn't get exactly what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to do it differently. The way it's going is good for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's going slowly, but side
Mm-hmm.
by side, I have the studies to maintain. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good. I say I don't want anything else. It's going good, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what is the most like difficult part though when you're running your business? What's the most complicated part that you find it like sometimes okay, this is just too much? Is it about the tax or
No,
maintaining it?
at first I did a mistake that I didn't know about the declaration thing and that thing properly. The
Tax
legal,
declaration, you mean, or
yeah, the legal things that I need to do for
Mhm,
the tax and these kind of things. So
mhm,
I regret that I paid a little bit fine because I couldn't do that in time.
mhm,
So now I know it. It's a simple thing,
mhm,
and that simple thing also I couldn't do it in time at that time, so I had to pay fine. So I little bit regret about that thing, but that is the way of learning for me, so it's okay.
mhm, mhm. And last question for you, Bisal. What do you do to keep your business innovative? I mean, if you stay with one product, that's definitely, I think in a few years your business will come to end because everything changed so quick nowadays. And what do you do to keep your business innovative? How can you find that new ideas? Are you joining conferences, reading, or how do you develop your business?
At this moment for me is the link, because I know because of corona also many people need the services that I am doing, like making the videos and this kind of thing. So
Mhm,
the main thing is for networking, for me is the networking,
mhm,
because I know that I can do what people want me to do, what the service they want from me. But
mhm,
for me, is the problem is the networking. But
mhm,
I'm trying to cope with different solutions from my friends, from my network, and I'm also building the website by myself.
mhm,
So, so you just need to follow the time. You have to be like
Mm-hmm.
just go along with the time. You have
Mm-hmm.
to change yourself
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because now because of corona also many things has changed. I cannot go outside and meet people, so either you have to talk with them online or you talk with some other channels. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
for me it's like this.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, because you also mentioned about printing in the future, so that's how your where your business will go as well. So first, you are focusing about increasing your network, and I see that you're also improving because I think in a last few years you don't have the website yet. So when we want to see before we hire you for the marketing department, we also ask you to send like, okay, send me your the result, the video that you have done before. But now that you have a website, then more people can check your work as well before contacting you, which is also good. About the network and about the printing, so I see that you keep moving as well with your business, that always progress. And how do you manage it with your study, because you need to
Yeah,
do both
study is
at the
like
same time?
it's my main priority. By the way, study must be the main priority.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly nowadays we have the online classes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for many other students it might be a hectic thing, it might not be good for them, like they many people prefer to go to class and study, but for me it's, I don't know why it's like good for me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whatever I don't understand, I can just open the recorded session and I can study, and I can ask the teacher. Side by side I can do other works in my computer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, for other people, like for everyone, Corona is a problem, but there are good aspect of Corona, the lockdown as well. For me, in that sense, it's really helping me in my
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
good.
cannot, I cannot think that going class like 3 or 4 days in a school
Mm-hmm.
and doing this work. I don't know how I could have managed that, but for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's like good for me.
Oh, I think there's connection issue with Bishal. I can't hear Bishal.
Just a minute. Yeah, I think it's good now.
Yes, it's good now. Yes, I can hear you. Well, I did have a conversation as well with one of our students or alumni, Berta, that she also has a business. She wasn't able to join today because she's at the moment currently back home. But I did ask her how, and she said it's manageable to do study and business at the same time, but you really need to put a commitment on it because, like Berta, she's studying, and in the weekend she's also joining a lot of fair to sell her product. So it's not like easy. You stay home, you get the money, your business run. No, it will take a commitment. Also, you have to spend time and energy on it. So, well, definitely it is not impossible, but yeah, you need to put effort on it. Um, Michelle, anything you want to add before I move to Anesca's business?
Yes. One last thing, that
Mm-hmm,
when I opened the company, you also
mm-hmm,
explain about the domain and everything.
mm-hmm,
I registered my company in the name, and it was already taken.
mm-hmm,
So the KVK officials, they called me and said that the name is not available. So
mm-hmm,
I changed for the another name,
mm-hmm,
and then that name wasn't registered in the Netherlands. So I got that name.
mm-hmm,
However, while registering the website, the name of my company was already taken, so I couldn't get that domain for the website.
mm-hmm.
So it might be a small thing, but you need to consider this as well. Like you check whether the domain is available for the website or not.
Or on
Yes.
Instagram, if you're gonna use Instagram.
Instagram, my own
Yeah.
website, like my company name is taken by someone else, so I cannot register for that website.
Mm.
So now I'm completely thinking to change the name of my company.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. This is why I put name in the first slide because you students might think why name is so important, but it is very important in the Netherlands. You really have to check if the name is taken and domain is taken or not, because it might give you a problem in the future. So, anything else, Michelle?
My suggestion is just if you know something
Mm-hmm.
and you really are committed to that thing,
Mm-hmm.
just start the business. It's really easy and you get a lot of services if you pay tax to the government. So I hope if you have some
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and you can use it for your business, just go for it.
Thank you, Bishal. That's good advice for the students. I'll move to Anesca now.
Mhm.
This is the Instagram account of Anesca's business. Anesca, can you maybe tell a little bit more about your business? So, what are you doing in the business?
Okay, yes, my business is African Design Collective, and what
Mm-hmm.
I do is
Mm-hmm.
basically I went on holiday. I'm from South Africa, and I
Mm-hmm.
went on holiday there a couple of years ago, and I
Mm-hmm.
scouted some sort of very unique products because I noticed that African products,
Mm-hmm.
because I noticed that Africans, they have like great skills in making things. They have mad skills, but they don't always know how to connect with the global market. So I wanted to make a contribution to that, and also I kind of discovered that the Africa or the South Africa I know,
Mm-hmm.
the products there is very different from what it is in the Netherlands. So in the Netherlands, they still have a very sort of old-fashioned idea of Africa, while
Mm-hmm.
in fact, South Africa is super modern and very fashionable and very fashion conscious. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to bring some of that back to the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started also very slowly, like Bishal said.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what I did first is establish an online presence,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also started in a shop in a sort of like a brick and mortar shop in a city that is close to me. So the name of the city is called Nijmegen.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the year, I am besides selling online, I also sell in shops in Leiden and in The Hague and in Rotterdam,
Mm-hmm.
and also two shops in Belgium. Uh, but now the shops in Belgium, in January, they sent me a letter because COVID-19 has affected the shop to such an extent that they couldn't go on.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to close. Um, but yeah, sometimes you also sort of have to that was an opportunity that was given to me. Sort of, they contacted me through Instagram to ask, "Oh, can you also sell in our shops in Belgium?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said yes because, yeah, of course, I want to expand my business, so it'd be
Mm-hmm.
great in another country. But then I've sort of found out that practically it didn't work so well because the shops in the Netherlands, I'm closer to it, so I can supply them easily. I can keep track of products, and also I can. The system is such that you can see all of your sales live. So if someone buys something from me now, I can see it immediately. I don't have to wait for the end of the month for a product. While in Belgium, it didn't work that way. So it was very hard for me to sort of keep a grip
Mm-hmm.
on my business there.
Mm-hmm.
So that also taught me an important lesson, sort of to seek out quality partners instead of just expanding. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, looking to sort of a sustainable long-term relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that is my business in a nutshell.
Well, that's very interesting, Aniska. Go back to your statement. If I just make it clearer, the shop, it's not that you own the shop, but there is a
No.
shop owner and you put your product to be sold there.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
me alongside. So it's called the Concept Shop Store in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
So I sell with other small businesses, small
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
mostly women, I must add. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is about that is
Mm-hmm.
that in the beginning you learn so much from also the other entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
and you also learn a lot about the kind of stuff that customers buy. Because although my products are quite unique,
Mm-hmm.
I still have because it's like a gift shop almost. I
Mm-hmm.
still have competition from sort of these other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learn a lot from them about the kind of stuff that customers look at and so on. But
Mm-hmm.
in short, I pay a commission also to the shop,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have like my online presence, but I also have a physical presence in a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of cities in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm. And
So
how do you get to know these people, like these shops and the other woman from the entrepreneur? How do you get to know them?
yeah, yeah, like you said earlier, Yanti, it's not like you shouldn't come into your business and think it will be immediate success.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I had to contact a lot of shops, and I got a lot of no's also because yeah, I got a lot of no's, and because the Dutch customer is a very peculiar type of customer, and so you have to learn to understand also the culture and the culture of buying and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I had to work a lot to find these shops
Mm-hmm.
which was a good fit for me as well and a good fit for them. So I found them just by writing a whole bunch of letters and emails to shops because I wanted a physical presence as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, eventually they responded. I found a good match, and yeah, now it's going well.
And that sounds very good. How long does the process take you, just to give an idea?
What process do you mean?
I mean, you first start with the online, of course, but then how
Yeah.
long does the process it takes you until you get a physical presence as well in the shops?
Oh, it can take a long time because you because everybody is fighting for a space in a shop. No matter whether you are selling your products in Albert Heijn, in a supermarket, or wherever,
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants that space. So you have to make sure that your product is really unique
Mm-hmm.
and that whoever you are selling it to, I mean now the shop owners, that they can see, they will be convinced that the customers from the street will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Bishal has got a service, but I have a physical product.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you have to really. So when I go to sort of scout for suppliers, I
Mm-hmm.
don't just take anybody. It
Mm-hmm.
has to really be a unique kind of product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Thank
that's what I
you.
do. And then online, how I market that
Mm-hmm.
is just through social media because it is
Mm-hmm.
super cheap. And I sell a lot of things on Instagram specifically.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting things that you also mentioned. You learn a lot from the other entrepreneur, from the shop as
Mm.
well. What does the Dutch customer wants? Can you maybe give an example? What have you changed something on your product after a few periods, like after checking the market in situation?
Yes, so the Dutch customer, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the Dutch, they like to travel. So they like to travel to Asia, they like to
Mm-hmm.
travel to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But don't mistake the Dutch customer who's on holiday in
Mm-hmm.
your country for the one the person that he or she is when they are back in their own country. So they
Mm-hmm.
might buy stuff there, but they
Mm-hmm.
might not buy things here.
Yeah.
So number one, there's sort of like a niche market, but because you can see my stuff is very colorful and so,
Mm-hmm.
and the Dutch person, they are more reserved. So they like more sort of the Scandinavian look and very sort of minimalism and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to seduce them a little bit also with your products, and you have to have a good story. My products, for instance, the prints are photos from African photographers from the 1950s and 60s, sort of just after liberation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a very joyful quality about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them that whole story. And it really, when I'm in the shop and I'm talking to customers, because that is another opportunity that a brick and mortar store gives you, it
Mm-hmm.
gives you the opportunity to do research on the customers. So I
Mm-hmm.
talk to them and see the kind of stuff that they like, and I tell my story, and you make sort of a human connection, which I think is going to become more and more important as we move into the artificial intelligence and data driven world. And as we have seen also during Corona, how important human connection is, because one of the things that the Dutch complain a lot about is a simple thing like not being able to hug someone,
Yeah.
or yeah. So that connection, like I said, is going to become very important in the future. So that is what I work on.
That's very good. I think I do agree though. I mean, any story or history behind your product that kind of can
Yeah,
help as well. So a nice story about the product, how do you come up with the idea, what's the purpose of the business? That's always help. That's something that you can also sell to the client. That's
exactly.
definitely is. Interesting. I do see a lot of your product as well. That's very colorful. And can you maybe give a more like example? How do you deal with cultural differences? Because I can understand that the shop owner, they're not all with African background. Do you have any difficulties in the past? Anything you can advise?
In sort of dealing with the cultural
Yeah,
divide.
yeah.
Yeah, a good start is always being able to speak a little bit of Dutch,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, because you also have to charm the customer a little bit. So even if you speak just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
they will find it entertaining. And um, yeah, how can I say that? So sort of use all of the weapons that you have in your artillery, whether it is charm or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
anything that you've learned in your past or stuff like that, to yeah, to just connect with the customer.
Just to make
But
sure they remember you as well.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's very good to hear. And I know that you also take the stuff from South Africa. Do you need to arrange any license to import stuff for your business?
No, I don't need to arrange a license, but I did have to figure out a good way to ship the things from South Africa to here,
Mm-hmm.
because often when you are, say, many of our students are international,
Mm-hmm.
so they have to sort of get a good way of getting their products
Mm-hmm.
over to the Netherlands. And I have to say, with Corona,
Mm-hmm.
it was 10 times harder. Things took a lot longer to get here,
Mm-hmm.
and it was also much more expensive, because sometimes you get a supplier in one of these other countries like Africa or Asia, but that person doesn't necessarily have the knowledge on how to ship things.
Mm-hmm.
So you also have a bit of an educational role if you are in a business like mine.
Mm-hmm.
We have to educate a little bit your supplier,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but sometimes they don't have that skill, so you have to do everything by yourself. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember with my one supplier, with these prints, for instance, yeah, she's great,
Mm-hmm.
but usually I use the South African postal office to send my things,
Mm-hmm.
but the times were like 3 months or something before it arrived. So
Mm-hmm.
she had to use FedEx. So you can just imagine how expensive that was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even if you don't mention number, I can imagine already how expensive that will be with
So
FedEx.
I was like, no, I'd rather fly there next time and pick up the stuff myself. But I'm not using FedEx again, because, yeah, that was now a loss that I can just, might as well just write off. So you also get those kind of stumbling blocks sometimes. So it is good if you, I don't know if everybody starts on a shoestring budget like me, but if you can, like, build yourself a little buffer for unexpected costs that you might have. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't just have to live from paycheck to paycheck, but you have a little something for those unexpected things like COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anesca. Well, my next question will be about the promotion because
Yeah.
I mean, Bishal has a services, but you have a product, so you also need to take a picture of your product, and then you might need a model for your product. How do you manage it? Do you pay people to be your model? Do you pay people for your photography, or are you asking your network to help you? How do you manage your promotion? Because you mentioned that you're in a quite a tight budget, so how do you
Yeah.
manage it in the beginning?
Okay, so in the beginning, I used to have models, and I
Mm-hmm.
will continue to have models.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the Dutch has a very good sort of, how do I say this now? A good thing going in the what something that they called lifelong learning.
Mhm.
So I'm now busy taking a photography course. Although I did do when I was doing journalism, I did do a minor in photography.
Mhm.
But I'm going to do a photography course now because all of my products, it just lends itself to making great photos because they are so colorful and all of that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so keep on learning and keep on being curious in your business. That is the advice I would give any prospective,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
entrepreneur.
Mhm. Mhm. That's very good. And where will you bring your business in the future? Like, how do you want to go? Like, for now, I know that you do dress, you do hat. Are you also going to move to also like wedding dress, for example, or are you going? Or do you want to have a big shop? So, where is your business going? What's your plan in the future?
Yeah, so I was very, I don't know if other people also do this, but I had to learn. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning and I wasted a lot of money. So I would also say, like, plan better.
Uh huh.
And so for me, in the beginning, I focused more on clothing, and that was
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
But the problem with clothing is people send back clothing a lot. If you have an internet shop that sells clothing,
Mhm.
there's a lot of returns.
Mhm.
And so I moved sort of over to a more type of product for home stuff,
Mhm.
and also for things that don't really need a size that fits all. So hats and baseball hats, bucket hats, and
Mhm.
stuff for your house.
Mhm.
I'm very into art, so I sell also a lot of art prints, but modern African art prints.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, because all of this stuff you can obviously you can find it online
Mhm.
also, but
Mhm.
sometimes people go to the shop and it's like a little event that they create for themselves.
Mhm.
So if they can have the thing immediately, then they will take it there instead of ordering online and
Mhm.
waiting 2 weeks or whatever
Mhm.
for the thing. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking sort of more into the home stuff
Mhm.
and also into skincare things, because there's another thing that people don't know about Africa is that
Mhm.
there are some fantastic skincare
Mhm.
ranges.
Mhm.
That there's, for instance, there's a brand called Rain,
Mhm.
and it really smells like when the rain hits the ground on a very hot day. That kind of
Mhm.
smell that you get.
Fresh.
Yeah, fresh. So I want to sort of get into a negotiation with them, and
Mhm.
but yeah, I won't easily go back to things where with sizing is an issue.
Mhm. Mhm. And how long have you been in the business, Anesca, since you started?
Oh, in the beginning it was just a hobby, so this was now 2018, I think, or so,
Mhm. Mhm.
and and then I started doing it kind of seriously 2019 at the,
Mhm.
yeah, middle
Mhm.
of 2019. But I still work part time,
Mhm.
so I hope to eventually do it full time.
Okay, that's good. So it's about 2, 3 years now, but I can see there is
Yeah.
an important point here that once you start your business, like Aneska, she first really focused on the clothing, and then after a few trial, that she said, okay, I think other product is more suitable. So as an entrepreneur, you also have to be flexible. So if Aneska stays in the clothing until now, I don't think she her business can survive. But because she's flexible, she adjusts her products to the market. So then you
Mhm.
can see that her business is growing. So that's one of the most important part that entrepreneur has to take into consideration as well.
Mhm.
And Aneska, I'm also going to ask you a tricky question. If you
Oh,
can go back to time, what will you
yeah.
do differently, and what will you do the same?
Yeah, what I will do differently is number one, I will work less, because in
Mhm,
the beginning, people like tell you idiotic things like you have to work 7 days a week. It is not true. You will work yourself into a burnout very quickly.
mhm,
So I know it's a cliche, but you have to bring balance into your life. So I
mhm,
wish I did that, and I
mhm,
wish I didn't, because I'm a very impulsive person. So I see beautiful fabric and whatever, you get carried away, you buy unnecessary things, and you waste money. So, if I could go back, I would plan better
Mm-hmm.
and think things move more through.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do with this? How long will it take? Will people buy it? Stuff like that.
Okay,
I
okay.
was very stupid when I started, I have to say.
But you're brave enough to start. Many people has the idea, but they don't dare to start. So you're
Yeah,
already one step ahead. Well, it's an expensive lesson, of course, but
exactly.
you're there now, so that's good. And any advice for Wittenberg students or prospective students?
Yeah, I would say so. I come from a communication background, so I used to be a journalist,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't I can't overestimate how important that is in terms of communication, good communication.
Mm-hmm.
And with good communication, I also mean listening. I remember when I was a journalist now, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying this to brag, but I won like a lot of prizes. And I didn't do it because I'm a brilliant person or whatever, but because I was listening to people. And I used to like people underestimate the value of chit chatting, like just chatting to people about their lives and whatever. But they don't realize that is how you make a connection. That
Mm-hmm.
people want to be they want to be understood, and they want to be appreciated, and they want to be listened to. So those are one of the lessons or one of the things I would give to people who also want to start a business is like really take your time. Don't say, "Oh, I'm too busy. I can't listen to this auntie now with a long story." Just listen to them and be genuinely interested. That could be your customer. I remember once I was in the shop and this woman came in. She's a stewardess with KLM, and this woman liked colorful stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started talking with her, and she lives in Apeldoorn. And then she said, "Oh, but can't we go and have some coffee at some point?" And I went to have coffee, and that woman bought 20 things from me. And that was
Oh.
just from being friendly and being genuinely interested in people. So don't underestimate communication, and and just that connection with people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you,
Yeah.
Anesca. That's very good advice. Well, I think I read all of my question for Bishal and Anesca. So if any of you has any question for Bishal, Anesca, or for me, feel free to put them in the chat box. We'll wait for another few minutes. I'll just make a quick conclusion from the presentation. So as I mentioned earlier, what is important is first your idea, and then really know who you are. Do you have the expertise? Do you have the experience? And then you go with your market. You do market research. You do a planning, including your financial planning. Like Aneska mentioned, give a little bit buffer for yourself, also for your mental health. Mental health, so you're not really like one paycheck to another paycheck, keep waiting. And also the last one is name, because I think name is very important in the Netherlands. And I think both Aneska and Bishal also, you can see that they're moving in their business. So they're not only stuck with one product, but they're also looking at other different markets. So know that your market is moving quickly. I think customer behavior move very quick. So that's both of them are really looking into the market. So they're not really stuck with one product, and being flexible is always the key for the business. I see there is a question from Raksana. Can you tell me briefly which kind of business we must investigate, namely for big or bold experience, which one support owner brick path, and what's indispensable for us? I'm not sure if I understand your question correctly, but the type of business, it really depends on your patient. I would say do the business where you have the patient. Do you agree, Aneska and Bishal?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I see so many people, and they have maybe studied to be a lawyer or whatever. And then 10 years down the line, they discover, oh, I actually wanted to be a photographer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, please make sure that you follow what you find
Mm-hmm.
interesting and exciting. Otherwise, it won't be sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Um, Thanks, Aneska. There is a question from Elnos. Does Dutch government invest on students' ideas, or can international students take our loans? I'll just answer this question. It really depends on what kind of ideas you have. So what I have discussing in this presentation is really the most simple part of registering your business, starting your own business. But if you go to the Dutch government website, they do have the startups visa and scheme. And really, depending on the ideas, you can also attract investor. But it has to be really great ideas, and no one else has ever have this idea before. But there is a possibility. Yeah, but the process takes long. It's not that easy to get. Just, the government put the money on your business, but there is a possibility. Really depends on how innovative is your ideas. um
Can I
okay,
just say something also there?
sure,
That
sure.
the Dutch are like very invested in tech stuff and in IT stuff. So
Hmm.
that is if you want them to invest in your business, and you are interested in technology and IT, yeah, they will definitely invest whether you are a student or not. They are interested in the idea.
Hmm. Hmm. So
Yeah.
there is no discrimination, I would say. Like if you're students, international, or if you're local, as long as your idea is something that's really innovative and they say that it can help Dutch economy, then there is a possibility that they will invest in your business. Yeah. So don't worry if you're international students. Um, a question from Jafat. In order to have one person business and be able to get a residence permit, what is the minimum income of this business? If you're a student, there is no minimum income, but once your student's visa is expired, then you have to apply for the startup visa. I'm afraid you really have to go to the IND website for the information, but in general, before they approve your visa, is you have to be able to prove that you can earn money which is sufficient for you to run the business and also live for yourself, like your living expenses, your rent and stuff. Yeah, but the exact amount is really depends on the type of the business and what kind of plan, and you need to prove that to the immigration office before they can approve your visa. This is why I have this webinar especially for the Wittenborg students, so then I gave you the option that you don't have to graduate first to start your business, but you can run it together with your study. So once your study visa expired, you have to search your visa to again grow your business. And then once your search your visa is finished, you can have kind of proof to show to the immigration that you see my business is running. I have this income. I can survive in the Netherlands. So that make it easier for you to apply for the startup visa. Does this answer your question, Jafat? Let me know in the chat. Well, a question from Poja. I already own a business organic farming company in my home country, and I wish to introduce the same in the Netherlands. I need to know about the legal procedure for the same. I deal with organic green tea. Um, Thank you in advance. Yeah, Pooja, your business is very specific, especially it's related to organic farming. That's about the food. So definitely you need a certification. They're gonna check your product as well, I think. So it's really important that you read also the legal term first in the internet, and then you can make an appointment with the Chamber of Commerce staff. They can do consultation with you, because I know there are students who is doing a food business, and they do ask you about the HACCP certification about the food, that you know how to keep the hygiene, how to keep the packaging, and those type of certification. Yeah, but the legal process is always start the same. You have to register your business first in the KVK, and during the conversation, they will dig deeper into your business. So, what kind of, for example, if for example you need more a license for export, import for food, or do you need to have certification, they will inform you during the consultation.
Can I also just add something small to that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's an organization, sort of a government subsidized organization, and they
Mm-hmm.
are called credits. I'm typing it and then
Yes.
sending it.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they can give you loans. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about international students, but the
Mm-hmm.
other thing is they have a bunch of other services, as in they have mentors, people that have maybe been in that business already that you are looking for, and you
Mm-hmm.
pay a small fee, I think 200 euros or something, and you
Mm-hmm.
can get that mentor for 6 months, and that person can really guide you, and you decide who is your mentor. So the person with the organic tea farming, maybe you find someone on that website that you can connect with. It's also in English,
Mm-hmm.
that is in that same business that you are, and can maybe give you some direction.
Thank you, Anesca. Very good advice. I see that Aful, sorry if I mispronounce your name, Afulayan is asking the same. Are there requirements for cosmetic and beauty? I would advise the same, that you go to these credits and really look for a mentor, because I'm not an expert into the legal aspect for each type of business. So if you I would advise you to really contact a mentor who has similar type of business, so then they can give you more specific advice uh, related to your business.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, sure.
If you want to import something from your country, then there is the office that you need to go and testify your things. And
Mm-hmm.
each product has the unique code. So for that, you need to have the certification. Because I was also thinking to do the hemp cloth business here.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as I was concerned about it, I came to know that for that I need to uh, know about the product, and for the specific product I need to have a certification.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends what kind of products you want to import from your country. So
Mm-hmm.
it depends, so you have to go to and there and consult for your exact specific product. So everything has their own rule, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you need to do. So it's better if you consult someone.
Yeah. Thank you, Bishal. I see. Oh, Sapnam is asking again the name of the website. Okay, Aneska already answered the question. Anyone else has any other question? And don't worry, I think 95% of Dutch they speak English. So I know the tax website, especially, they don't have that much information in English, but other website they have brought information in English as well available. Sapnam, let me see if we have more question that we didn't answer. I see some students is still typing. So we still have 2 minutes to go for the event. So feel free to put your question in the chat. Just one important point. I see there are a lot of Wittenborg students as well here. So this is the email address of our external relation. So, for example, if you have any idea, okay, you want to know more about the Dutch custom, or do you want to know more about the tradition, specific tradition, or do you have any idea for the webinar, you can always propose your idea to this email address. And then, if, for example, our external relation team doesn't have the expertise to give the webinar, we'll try to involve other external parties as well to run the webinar. So if you have any specific area that you want to know more, then you can always send your ideas to this email address. So, for example, like today about starting the business, because I don't have my own business, that's why I invite Anesca and Bishal to help me with the webinar. So, in case you have any specific area where you think this is important to grow your career in the Netherlands, feel free to put your ideas to the external relation team. Question from Sepnep. Is consulting and services easy to do as a line of business? A very broad question, but it really depends of what kind of consultant and services you offer, I think, Sepnep. Really depends on the demand. I think in the Netherlands, to be honest, tax consultant, there is a high demand in the Netherlands. So it really depends on where do you want to go with your business. So what kind of services, what kind of consultancy service you want to offer. Yep. Well, it's almost 5. Okay. Just one last question from Poja, then I'll close off the session. For startup visa, the government website have different agents. So is it compulsory to go through the specific agent? As I visited the websites, they purpose a course, and after completion of the course, then they guide you with the startup visa. So, Poja, it is not compulsory. That's definitely it's not compulsory. But again, if you just knew, you don't know much about the business in the Netherlands, that's why they always let you go through a mentor or agent, because they can give you more advice rather than just having your application rejected. But if, for example, you're studying for 4 years and in the last 2 years you can already prove that your business is running, and I mean you can maintain your life with the income you get from your business, then it shouldn't be that difficult to get your startup visa. Yeah. So as long as you have the proof, you don't have, it's not compulsory to have the agent, but I know that they strongly advise it for people who doesn't have that much experience yet with the business, running a business in the Netherlands. Yeah, because they can't just give out a visa, so they really need to make sure that your business can run in the Netherlands in the normal circumstances, of course, not in the corona time. Okay. Thank you all for joining, and I want to say thank you especially for Anesca and Bishal for your input. Very useful, and I wish you good luck with your business. And all the students here, I'll strongly advise you to follow their social media. If maybe in the future you can collaborate with them in any way. So, Anesca and Bishal, thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you soon in the next webinar session.
Thanks so much for
Thank
having
you.
us. Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for
Bye bye.
joining, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Bye bye.
Bye.